Welcome into the Rob Bro Show. I am Rob Bro. I am the host. You are generally the co-host. I am recording this. We'll see how it goes. If you're new here, appreciate you joining. This is a wonderful time for both me and hopefully you. If you are new, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. If you're here today, hit the like button. Smash it. Smash the like button. That's what the YouTubers do. I don't know. I'm a YouTuber now, I guess. But lots of things to do today. One big one. Yeah, actually, we'll just probably talk about one thing. And that's Bob Huggins. Yesterday, Bob Huggins was on a radio show, Cincinnati, Xavier, coming up, a little bit of a crosstown rivalry. And Bob Huggins said some things. He was talking about a rubber phallic thing. And then he said kind of a religious and Catholic slur all in once. And then a homophobic slur. And kind of threw it all in there together to just did the double doozy. Made the Catholics mad, made the other people mad. It was a bad deal. Bad deal. I'm treading a line right now just talking about it. But since then, and this is being recorded around 7:30 on Monday night, so I'm sure we might even have more news by Tuesday morning when this posts, but Bob Huggins has already done a few things. Now, the question is, will Bob Huggins retain his job? Will Bob Huggins be suspended? Will Bob Huggins ever coach at West Virginia again? If he doesn't coach at West Virginia, I guarantee you. What are you doing? I guarantee you he will coach somewhere. Chris Beard, fired at Texas, goes to Ole Miss. So West Virginia, even if they fire him, which I'm not saying they will, they might before this comes out. I don't know, but even if they do, he will coach again, I'm sure. But since then, Bob Huggins and the media machine have been after it. This is from Rivals Keenan. This is the West Virginia University statement. Coach Huggins' remarks today on a Cincinnati radio show were insensitive, offensive, and do not represent our university values. Coach Huggins has since apologized. West Virginia does not condone the use of such language and takes such actions very seriously. The situation is under review and will be addressed by the university and its athletics department. One quick note. When do we start calling athletic departments athletics departments? Were we leaving people out? Anyways, here is that Bob Huggins apology. Should I read it like Bob Huggins? Earlier today on a Cincinnati radio program, I was asked about the rivalry between my former employer, the University of Cincinnati, and its crosstown rival, Xavier University. During the conversation, I used a completely insensitive and abhorrent phrase that there is simply no excuse for, and I won't try to make one here. I deeply apologize to the individuals I have offended, as well as the Xavier University community, the University of Cincinnati, and West Virginia University. As I have shared with my players over my 40 years of coaching, there are consequences for our words and actions, and I will fully accept any coming my way. I am ashamed and embarrassed and heartbroken for those I have hurt. I must do better, and I will. Signed, Bob Huggins. Now, I guarantee you, if you ask a bunch of these players those consequences for words and actions, Bob Huggins could go on, and you could go on and on about Bob Huggins and his consequences. I'm sure these players have lots of things, but Bob Huggins is not going to be running lines here. Bob Huggins is not going to be doing suicides until he throws up to learn the value of not getting a technical in a late game situation. That's just not what happens here. Now, in my opinion, I do not think that Bob Huggins will be fired. Will there be a suspension? Will he miss the first 5 games of next season? Maybe so. But the media forces are already out in response to this, and there's 2 guys that are backing Bob Huggins. I'll give you 2 guesses. Yes, it's Jeff Goodman and Doug Gottlieb. 2 men with high moral standards who only back the best people and have 0 skeletons in their closets or any scandals from their playing time. I'll read these 2 as well. Jeff Goodman from Stadium. He made a mistake. It was obviously something that he and the school needs to take seriously. Yeah. Personally, I have a ton of respect for Bob Huggins, not just as a coach, but as a person. He came out and immediately apologized. That's true. Sometimes these are learning lessons for all of us. I hope the school doesn't overreact and fire him for this. For one, I don't know that it's an overreaction. He went on a radio show. Now, he was talking to some old friends, and I think that's worse because when you're with old friends, you just talk how you talk. And if this is just how Bob Huggins talks behind the scenes, and there really isn't any remorse for it because this is just a word in his lexicon, still in the year 2023, I mean, it's not 2003 anymore. I'm not saying it was right to say it back then, but a lot more people said it then. Today, nobody says it because it's wrong. We know that. We've learned this. Here's Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports. The Crosstown rivalry is probably the nastiest, most competitive yearly showdown in college basketball. Hugs used a word that is now off limits. Again, always off limits, but less used today. He apologized. We should all move on. Thank you, Doug Gottlieb. We should all move. We shouldn't remind you of your credit card scandal from college. That's all he wants. While the word is no longer acceptable, it is used in the context of sports banter often. Not really. Not anymore. Doug, are you still using it in sports banter? Especially by fans for the last 50 years. Again, it's 2023, Doug. In time, we'll evolve out of using this word, but not through running a legendary figure off his post. We've already evolved, Doug. That is such a Doug Gottlieb statement. Now, again, I'm not saying what I think should happen here. I just am saying what I think will happen. I think Bob Huggins will be suspended to start next season, but Bob Huggins will not be fired. Let me know in the comments what you think. Will he be fired? Will he not be fired? How many games should he be suspended? And again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll be live tomorrow morning. These videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll probably cover one topic for about 10 minutes. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll be live for about 30 or more, depending on how the comment section is engaged. But for today, that's about all I have. Bob Huggins will be suspended, not fired. It was a reprehensible use of a word. And as Doug Gottlieb said, it has been used in sports banter a lot 10 years ago. And look, if you play sports, if you've been in the sports world, if you've been in a locker room, it was used. It was. But it's just not used anymore. And even then, it wasn't used on the radio, Bob. Just an incredibly poor choice from Bob Huggins. Incredibly poor. And he should make a donation to the Trevor Project or something and hopefully move on from it and get it out of his lexicon so he doesn't accidentally say it twice on the radio. All right. I've been Rob Bro. I'll be Rob Bro. We'll see you tomorrow.